It's slightly changed from last night. Because first of all, first can I say how very, very proud I am of Ben. All who stayed in the comment last night. To drink a bar dry takes some doing, but we did it. As we were told this morning and last night. At last, it happened. And it took a while, but we're here. And it's been a great day, fantastic. Hi everybody, Sarah has told me that I can make this speech short, thank God. I'm not very good with public speaking. Before we get started, I have something for Sarah. I must explain why. Every time we used to go for a meal, Sarah would bring a large selection of her best toys. So we'd sit at the dining room table in some restaurant with SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward on the table. It didn't matter how fancy the restaurant was. Oh no, they came. So it would be a shame for them to miss the big day. Sarah. So, with no hesitation. Patrick and Squidward. Let's help them off. Come on then, put them out. We always used to have the people would walk into a restaurant and go, what the hell is going on there? Right. First, I would like to say how very, very proud we all are of Sarah and what she's achieved and what Sarah and Ben will achieve in the future. Fantastic, absolutely amazing. You moved down here and you made a really lovely life for yourself. That's all me and everybody else have expected and wanted for you. I would also like to welcome Ben to the family. He's a good egg and one hell of a London tour guide. I think. I can't remember. I think I can. Too much of the tours always end up in 3 or 4 pubs. And after 3 Alchemist cocktails and a dozen pints of neck oil, it's like, did we ever go to London? But we have a laugh, which is all it's about. And we, you're one hell of a tour guide, I think. I can't guarantee it. Now, this is probably the time I would talk about Sarah's wild nights of partying. Well, let's move on. I still think she would rather have a cup of tea, which is actually what she did firsthand do when she came up north. In a nice little place not far from the richest football club in Anyway, I think that's enough from me, and I will pass the baton on to the next person, but first I would like to ask everybody to stand with me and raise a glass to the happy couple. To the happy couple.
Happy couple.
Happy couple.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Morning.
Woo!
So, Ian, I want to thank you for your kind words. Well, that's what I thought you said. So,
It's been 7 years, but I still don't understand Geordies. I'm not sure what's going on today, to be honest. So this is the only time in my life that I'll be able to speak about being adopted by Sarah. So I hope everyone sat down, filled a load of drinks, because I've got a lot on my mind. First, I want to thank Sarah's parents and my own for all the love and support of the few years, and I want to thank you for making the wedding as good as it is today. So I really want to thank you for that. On behalf of my wife, I'd like to thank you all for travelling here today to celebrate with us. Some here have travelled much further than others, and to be honest, that just shows the lengths that Geordies will go to get a free meal. But seriously, it wouldn't be the same if all of you weren't here. It'd be a lot cheaper. I'd like to thank my groomsmen, Adam, Sam, Vinny, where are you? Moving on. And I want to thank my best men, John and Blake, for giving me a fantastic send-off and all the support today. I'd also want to thank them for not staging me today. I didn't ask them to look like that, but there they go, look, they're just such great people, they are that naturally ugly. I'd also like to thank the bridesmaid, Holly, and our flower girl, Ella. Thank you for keeping Sarah calm and sane today. I'll be asking for tips, I'll need it. I'm sure everyone here will agree how amazing you both look. So for that, my first part of the speech, I want to raise a glass to our bridesmaid and our groomsmen for everything they've done for us both.
Cheers.
So now, it wouldn't be much of a speech if I didn't mention my beautiful wife, Sarah. You deserve the best in life, but unfortunately, here you are with me. I didn't think you could look more beautiful, but here you are once again, proving me wrong. I'm so happy this day has finally arrived and I can now call you my wife. I can still remember when I first met you, and after embarrassingly and very, very drunkenly suggested that we should make a handshake about 10 minutes into meeting you. She didn't run away from me, she actually agreed, and to this day we still do it. After that moment I realised that you're just as much as a weirdo as I am, and that we should probably be together. With that said, I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together, to create more memories with you, and to carry on feeling lucky as I do every single day. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in raising a glass to my beautiful wife, Sarah Peake.
Sarah Peake.
Now finally, I'll pass you over to the best men for their speech. So traditionally, best man speeches are known to be funny and clever. So as a twist, I've chosen the least funny and the dumbest people I can do. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Blake Neal and John Morris.
Before I start, can I just get everyone to stand up, please? And what I like to get half the room to have their hands together and half the room slightly apart. So mix up between them, yeah? Hands together, slightly apart. That'd be good for me. Everyone know you're going to get. Perfect, you can all sit down now. You're all pretty thinking, what's just happened? But if my speech goes terribly wrong, I've got photographic evidence now that I had a standing ovation. So I'd just like to do a quick shout out to everyone who's travelled far to attend today, especially everyone who's came from Sunderland. I won't get anyone heckling me shouting, Shearer, Shearer. But hopefully everyone can understand me clearly, because we were also going to get a translator for the Geordies, but we didn't have enough budget left. But Ben and I, we started our friendship over 20 plus years ago, both grew up on the same street. But Ben is the kid that had everything. He had like football, rugby balls, cricket, badminton, squash, rugby, American football, tennis, you name it. And that's when I realised he's actually quite a cool guy. But I guess the only downside to this is when he had to go in for dinner, or he had to go in, or when he was losing, the game was over. Over the years, it has highlighted how competitive both Ben and I were. We always wanted to win. And a few excuses, I've got a list here of something. I've got a blister. I'm injured. They're speaking. FIFA gods. And the list goes on. But in everything we played, 99% of the time I would win. So it's a breath of fresh air. After all these years, he's finally called me, I'm his best man. But it should be noted that when me and Ben are our team, we're unbeatable. Whether it's golf, beer pong, or FIFA. Whereas that bit of FIFA, we had a drinking game every time we won, we would drink, and that'd be our pre-drink game. But with Ben, everything he does, he's very passionate about, especially with his teams, Chelsea, Seahawks, and his national team, England. He's that passionate one time during the World Cup in 2018, England beat Panama. All I can remember, Ben was just going absolutely crazy, jumping around, celebrating. I've turned around and I was like, what's happening? I looked at the TV and I was like, England's not scored, no one else is celebrating. I've turned back round to Ben and he's holding his ankle. I was like, what have you done? He goes, I was singing, Vardy was on fire when he sucked on. What has happened? He's rolled his ankle and caused ligament damage. Yes, only Ben will cause ligament damage for a player getting sucked on. But not many friends could say they saved their best friend's life. One night, me and Ben was out, we had shisha, a few drinks, and I went to the toilet. When I came out, Ben was collapsed on the floor. I was thinking, what's happened? I quickly rushed over, put him in a recovery position, and trying to respond to him like, Ben. At that time, the staff has finally realised what's happened. It's like, oh, look, we'll give you a free Coke, free chocolate, get sugar levels back up. Straight away, Ben's came back to life. And to this day, I think, he's just done this for a free Coke. But both Ben and I, we've gone to Portsmouth University, and over the years, it's become a yearly thing that we've watched the Super Bowl. We started at the Union, and the first year, it was Seahawks v Broncos. And what we do, we make it more interesting by doing drinking rules. So if a team scores a touchdown, the other team who you support, who conceded, will do a shot sambuca. If there's an interception, you finish your drink, and blah, there's so it goes on. So the first year, Seahawks, Ben supported Seahawks, and I had Broncos. Seahawks won 43-8, so you can imagine how drunk I was. But the next year, both our teams made a Super Bowl, Patriots v Seahawks. So it made the night even more competitive. And at half-time, the score was 14-14, very tight game. And Ben says, I'm going to the toilet. He never returned. That night we found Ben back in the hotel in the state. I'd love to share the photos with you, but I think after eating our meals, it won't be pleasant. So you can find me at the bar and I'm more than happy to share that photo with everyone here. But since this day, Ben's never repaid the second half. Patriots won 28-24, which has 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. So to put this to bed, Ben, and you can repay your debts, I've got you a Sambuca and Jaeger bomb coming over. So if everyone knows the song, feel free to join in. So when we drink with Ben, it's alright. When we drink with Ben, it comes to all we let. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll continue our uni story. Ben at uni was very caring, and one night he proved he was a caring man. He fed a student and also gave shelter to a homeless guy. And you're all pretty thinking how? So the story went like this. Ben and I was on a night out, the club shut, and we had wings. We sat on the step, and Ben ate his wings. And what he'd do, he'd throw the wing or the bone at students walking past. Yes. But one student came up to us and says, "You want to join the after party? Come to our halls, join the after party." I was like, "Yeah, why not? We'll join the after party." And on our way, we bumped into a homeless guy. Ben extended that invite to the homeless guy. Come and join the after party, which he did. But after an hour into the party, the host of the party never really got to like Ben and asked Ben to leave. I was allowed to stay, but not Ben. But we both left, and as strong students, we both went through the fire exit, which was alarmed, set the fire alarm off. And to this day I think, whatever happened to the homeless guy? Do not know. But the night that Ben and Sarah first met was the night out in Newcastle. I wasn't there on the trip, but I fully understand that Ben's chat-up line was, "I'll be your Superman, I'll save you." Yes everyone, this was 7 years ago. Ben was 21, not in primary school. He was a full-grown adult who said this. I'm sure John was there that night, so he could explain further. But Gary and Jenny, you gave birth to a child. But to finish my speech, Ben's like a brother to me. So much a brother, even at Ben's family party, they thought I was Sam. So I am in a photo album somewhere. But as a brother and pretty much family, Sarah, we welcome you to our family. And we wish you both the happiness the future brings. And I'd just like everyone to have a quick toast of new Mr. and Mrs. P.
Mr. and Mrs. P.
I'll hand over to the second best man, of course, I'm the main one, to Joe.
Hello. Right, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I'd like to thank you all for being here today to celebrate the marriage of my good friends Ben and Sarah. At last. I'd just like to say how beautiful the bride and her bridal party look today, and secondly, I'd like to make a toast to the parents of both the bride and groom. And may I just say how lovely they are looking today as well. So if you'd all join me please to raise a glass to the parents of the bride and groom.
Oh, thank you, John.
I first met Ben in primary school, where I think I remember correctly that both of our mothers used to help the pupils with their reading. But it wasn't until our secondary school days that we became close friends. We shared a lot of sports, sarcasm and dark humour, which I will try to spare you all from today. And here we are, 16 years later, where I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Ben for being such a good friend to me over all these years, and to say what an honour it has been to have been asked to be one of your best men on your wedding day. I was actually with Ben when he first met Sarah. As Blake said, we were visiting Newcastle for some mutual friends' birthdays, and we met Sarah on a night out. Of all the chance meetings in all the world, 7 years later, look where we are. Since that initial meeting, I've come to know Sarah very well, and I'm very pleased that she and Ben have decided to take this next step in their lives together. Over their time together, Sarah has become a good friend of mine also, and she's always been very kind to me. And I'd also like to congratulate her for putting up with Ben for this long, but also for giving him the motivation that he needs. In fact, just the other day in the pub, he was telling me that without you, he probably wouldn't remember to feed himself. Now, Sarah, I'd like to ask you, please, to put your hand down on the table in front of you, towards Ben. And Ben, if you could please place your hand on top of Sarah's. Ben, that is the last time you will ever get the upper hand. Finally, before dessert, I'd just like to leave you all by saying this. All men make mistakes. It's just that married men find out about them a lot sooner. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you please to stand one last time and join me in a final toast. I give to you the newly married couple, Ben and Sarah, Mr. and Mrs. Peake.
Perfect.